Hey, how's everybody doing today? All right, glad to hear that, glad to hear that. I want to thank you all. It's an honor and a privilege to speak with the members of the CBTU and everybody else who came out to support today. So, my time is short. I will try to be brief. I'm going to start out and say that some of you guys may not recognize me because I am not a Rochester native. I was born in Las Vegas, Nevada. So when I start out, I would like to tell you guys a little story about where I came from. My father, he was born way down in Mississippi, and he was born to sharecroppers. And my family story, at least from that side, is a great migration story because they went up that highway and they settled in Wisconsin. Very poor, very poor. My father, he ended up going to college. He met my mom. When he went back home, the house that he grew up in, it had a sign that said condemned home, not fit for human habitation. That sign now sits in my living room, and it reminds me every day where we can come. So, come where we come from, where we go to. So I want to get that out right away. But what's really important is what my dad did for work. My dad fought fires for 30 years, a union firefighter. And when you come home, from a job like that, and your kids ask you what you did that day, you can have the same answer every time. We fought fires and we saved lives. There's no mistaking what firefighters do every day. So of course he worked hard. He worked hard for 32 years. He retired as a captain. Now my whole life, well, I don't know. My whole life, he told me that when they promoted him to captain, they took half his brain. And then he also told me he didn't want to go to chief. He didn't want to join admin because they take the rest. So he may have had some thoughts about management, but maybe we'll save those for another day. So like I said, he retired as a captain, but I think what's important about that story is that I was born into a union family. I was raised in a union household, and the fruits of that union labor have allowed me to do some things. I went to college back home. I went to grad school right down at U of R. I started working. I got involved with the community, and that's what brings me here today to reaffirm Metro Justice commitment to labor, and in my opinion, to the CBTU. So, as I prepared for the speech, I was looking for some words, and I ended up on the Metro Justice website, and the words that I found said, "We seek a better, more just world free of economic, racial, and social injustice. We know that the way to move closer to this world is through an organized, collective struggle for justice." So, of course, when you read those words and you see things like the organized, the collective struggle, when you see the words talking about economic injustice, to me, it's obvious that Metro Justice values are aligned with the values of labor. But then furthermore, right, when you look into the words that I just said, and you see things like racial and social justice, I think it should then be obvious why our interests in Metro Justice are also aligned with the CBTU. And if you look at the history of the organization, from Friends of Fight in 1965, to the Fight for 15 just a couple of years ago, trying to get equal access to jobs at Kodak, also trying to, return some dignity and perhaps get a living wage for our restaurant workers. I think the work that we've done and the work that we will continue to do will show that we are committed to labor, and it will also show that we are committed to the CBTU. But if there's one thing I want to do, I want to tell you guys why I'm committed to labor and the CBTU. And that is because not only did I watch my dad work as a union firefighter for 30 years, not only did I see him put in those dues for 30 years, there's a couple other things I saw as well. One of which was he was the first black man, period, on the Henderson Fire Department. And that was 7 years before I was born. Then at the end of his career, 32 years, when he retired, there were 5 black firefighters. And when he came on, there was 36 total firefighters. So about 2% of them were black. And like I said, there was 5 black, 32 years later. But guess what? That department had grown to 200. So the percentage stays the same. And I'll tell you what though, they got their PP&E, they got the new fire trucks, they got some raises, but one thing they didn't want to do was hire any black firefighters. Right. Now, Evelyn right there, that's the president. Tracy, he's on the council. I'm the elected treasurer, okay? And when I go to meetings, we used to meet twice a month, minimum, okay? Because I'm on the executive council. And every time we go to these meetings, she brings Yasir with her. Yasir's about yay high. And you know why that warms my heart? Why I'm getting a little excited? Because I was that kid. Because my dad didn't just go fight fires. He was dragging us around to any black bookstore you could find, any rec center that would have them, as long as there was enough black people that were trying to get on the fire department. And he told them, this is the application. This is what the exam is structured like. And you know what you really need to watch out for, especially if you want to get promoted, is that dang oral board, okay? And you would be surprised on what it took for him just to get to captain. So I want you guys to understand my thoughts on labor and my thoughts on why there has to be a place at the table for black labor. Because if you don't hold labor to account, then we won't get what we deserve either, now will we? And I think that's evident when we do the roll call, and it's a lot of unions missing, isn't it? So as she alluded to, we know who's going to be doing the work. So what I want you guys to understand about me and about my leadership in Metro Justice is that, of course, I recognize the need of labor. I mean, we all need it, and we all benefit from it. But we also have to hold it accountable. So with that, I can tell you that in Metro Justice, we don't forget about the racial injustice when we're fighting for economic and social justice. We keep that centered. Now, there has been some news as of late with the Commission on Race. And I am proud to say that, yes, I am a commissioner. I was selected to serve, and I am excited to do that. Now, as far as the work and the work plan, we're still very early in that process. And I know that there's leadership who's already in touch with the CBTU, and they will come back, they will speak, and I will come back, and I will ask for y'all help. Because let me tell you what we're called to do. We are called to examine and develop policies and legislation. Policies and legislation to overcome systemic and institutional inequities, as well as racism in Rochester and Monroe County. And like I said, I'm excited for the work, I'm ready for the work, but it will be a community effort. And the time will come where I come back to you all, and I ask for your help, for your ideas, and I ask for your opinions, and I ask for your experiences, and I'm gonna ask for your solutions, because I believe solutions for the people need to come from the people. And as long as labor is a part of the people, and as long as CBTU is a part of labor and a part of the people, then y'all need a seat at the table, and y'all need a voice. So if that has to be through me, then come on with it. So that's about all I got, guys, and I'm gonna end with these words from Frederick Douglass. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did, and it never will. So if there's one last thing I want to leave you with, we are about solutions, and with your help, we're gonna make some demands. So thank you for your time, thank you for your labor, thank you all, we need you all more than we know. Thank you.